I will not be on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So there's your answer to that. We will not be on Love and Marriage Huntsville moving forward after this season. Yeah, so we will be living our real lives, focusing on the future. And when this season's over, when you see us in the next few episodes that are coming, and when you see us on the reunion, I will explain to you some of those reasons as well, because there's a lot of stuff you guys don't get to see behind the scenes that happens. There's a lot of politics involved in this business.
Nobody expected the storm that hit Love and Marriage Huntsville this season. Viewers tuned in for the usual disagreements, confrontations, and tense dinner scenes, but they were blindsided when Sunni Minx suddenly revealed that she and her husband, Moses Monroe, were stepping away from the show. Her message wasn't just an announcement.
You know, being a new couple, experiencing some of the highs and lows that we've experienced, prison, and there's so much more I wanted to share with you guys, but unfortunately it won't be shown on the show.
It felt like a final breath after holding in far too much for far too long. The tone of her voice, the weight behind every word, and the way she paused before explaining her decision told the world that this wasn't a simple goodbye. This was the kind of departure that leaves fans scrambling for answers. People immediately sensed there was more beneath her calm delivery. Something deeper. Something that had been building behind the scenes until it finally reached a breaking point.
But this will not be the last that you see of me. I promise you that. My journey is just beginning, and there's so much that God has in store for us.
And the moment that live session ended, the conversation exploded. How did things get this bad? Why walk away now? And what exactly pushed this couple toward the edge of a feud so intense it made them leave the spotlight they once embraced? Today, we're diving into the real story, the messy tension, the behind-the-scenes emotions, the ruptured friendships, and the shocking moment when everything came crashing down. Because once you hear how this all unfolded, you'll understand exactly why this exit hit the cast and the fans like an earthquake. But to truly grasp the weight of this moment, we need to go back to the beginning. Before the cameras, before the arguments, before the public pressure, there was a storyline quietly forming, one made of fragile trust, former relationships, unfinished emotions, and choices that would eventually pull every person involved into the center of a storm.
Life, this is a situation where there were circumstances, and we're facing those circumstances. We're getting through. It hasn't been easy. I'd be lying if I sat here and say that it's been all good. It's been all roses and peaches and creams. No, there's been nights that I've cried myself to sleep. There's been nights that I'm like, okay, God, I'm not sure what this battle is, but I'm prepared to fight. I'm gonna ramp up my faith because I'm trusting in you to see us through this situation. Not saying it's all good. It's real.
And that storm is what pushed Sunni Minx and Moses Monroe to walk away for good. Before reality TV became a part of Sunni's life, she lived out of frame not as a cast member, but as someone who helped shape scenes from behind the camera. She worked as Destiny Payton's field producer, helping her navigate emotional interviews and intense moments that needed careful handling. Their working relationship grew into a connection that many believed was genuine. They laughed together, prepared scenes together, and trusted each other enough that any shift between them would feel personal. Destiny saw Sunni as someone dependable. Someone she could confide in. Someone safe. But what no one realized was that this friendship was fragile in ways only time would reveal.
For asking about him, how he's doing. He's doing fine. What I will say is, in the midst of this storm, God has allowed us to draw closer to each other. I think we have really, he has really opened up our eyes and our mind to see just how much we need each other and just how much we are so like-minded. And I'm really grateful for this experience to see that, experience that. Our first year of marriage, we've been through so much that some people will never go through. And so I'm really grateful for that, because I feel like the end result is making us a stronger couple, making our bond stronger. And so I'm just really grateful, and we are both really, really excited about our future.
Then came Moses Monroe. At one point, Destiny had been linked to him romantically. Their situation wasn't a simple breakup. It was more like an unfinished chapter, the kind where feelings fade, but questions linger. When she introduced Sunni to Moses, it seemed harmless. No one could predict that Destiny's past and Sunni's future would connect in a way that felt almost fated or, to some fans, deeply troubling. What started as a casual introduction slowly turned into a bond between Sunni and Moses, one that deepened at a pace that Destiny never expected. By the time Sunni and Moses announced their relationship, the air between the former friends had already shifted. Destiny felt blindsided, hurt, and confused. The trust she once felt evaporated. And each time she replayed the timeline in her mind, it only made the sting worse. Sunni, on the other hand, saw things differently. In her eyes, the relationship with Destiny had always been professional, not personal. She believed that Moses and Destiny's chapter had already closed long before she and Moses formed a connection. But when it came to emotions, facts didn't matter as much as feelings did, and Destiny's feelings were heavy. That's where the whispers began. People online questioned motives. They argued over timelines. They took sides as if they knew the private details of each conversation. Overnight, Sunni went from a supportive presence behind the scenes to a controversial name on the show even before she officially joined the cast. And once she did step into the spotlight, the energy around her presence became impossible to ignore. The moment Sunni entered Love and Marriage, Huntsville, eyes widened. Some cast members looked confused, others skeptical, and a few were clearly uncomfortable. Her history with Destiny didn't just follow her, it walked in the room with her, sat between conversations, and fed tension before anyone even spoke. Letitia Scott wasted no time voicing her concerns. She wasn't cruel about it, but she was honest. Too honest. Kimmy Scott, usually the one who tries to bring calm where conflict grows, felt her own hesitation. She didn't immediately reject Sunni, but she didn't fully embrace her either. Something didn't feel right to her, and she let that discomfort show. Every group conversation seemed to circle back to the same question: why is Sunni here? And what does this mean for the cast dynamic? Sunni tried to hold her ground, but every attempt to fit in was met with silent judgment or unspoken suspicion. Sometimes, misunderstandings formed before she even finished her sentence. Small comments spiraled into big arguments. And her history with Moses and Destiny lingered over her like a shadow she couldn't outrun. Still, Sunni remained strong. She spoke up in scenes where other newcomers might have stayed quiet. She defended her relationship, set boundaries, and refused to shrink just because people were watching. But every time she stood firmly in her truth, someone else on the cast questioned it. And every time she defended her marriage, the tension seemed to thicken. Moses didn't appear in every scene, but his influence hovered over the storyline. His relationship with Sunni was the source of the conflict, the heart of the whispers, and the fuel behind every suspicious look cast in her direction. Then the pressure intensified. Out of nowhere, news broke about Moses' probation issues. The details were vague, no one knew exactly what happened, but the timing couldn't have been worse. Fans speculated. Cast members whispered. And suddenly, the couple found themselves dealing with legal troubles, public criticism, and show drama all at the same time. For any couple, that would be overwhelming. For a couple new to reality TV, it was a storm they weren't prepared for. Sunni tried to stay composed. She tried to protect Moses from the harsh spotlight. She tried to hold herself together while people questioned her intentions, her loyalty, her character. But even the strongest person has limits. As episodes aired, the opinions online grew sharper. Some viewers felt empathy for Destiny and believed she was wronged. Others felt Sunni was justified and simply moved forward with her life. The debate became so heated that fan pages turned into battlegrounds. One viewer commented, "Destiny trusted her. This was betrayal, plain and simple." Another wrote, "Sunni didn't steal anyone's man. Destiny moved on. People need to let this go." But the truth was, nobody truly knew what happened behind closed doors, and both sides felt their pain in ways that couldn't be settled through comments or clips. Then came the final blow. A cast event was filmed, one that everyone expected to end smoothly. But instead, that night turned into the moment people still whisper about. What began as light conversations spiraled into a confrontation filled with tension, raised voices, and accusations that left Sunni shaken. And in the midst of that heated argument, something snapped. It wasn't just the argument itself. It was the months of carrying the weight of public judgment. The strain of defending her marriage. The pressure of trying to fit into a cast that wasn't ready for her. The constant comparisons to Destiny. The implications about her character. The intense scrutiny around Moses. All of it collided in that one explosive moment. When Sunni left that scene, she wasn't just walking away from an argument. She was walking away from the version of herself she had become on camera, strong on the outside, but hurting deeply inside. That night was the breaking point. And when she went live days later, fans could hear it in her voice. The exhaustion. The disappointment. The quiet relief mixed with sadness. We will not be returning to Love and Marriage, Huntsville after this season. It felt like the end of a chapter that she never meant to write this way. Moses stood silent beside her decision, supporting her even though the exit meant stepping out of the spotlight he once accepted for her. But here's the twist. The story didn't end with their announcement. Because the feud that pushed them out was bigger than fans realized, and the emotional fallout went deeper than what was shown on screen. Sunni felt misunderstood, misjudged, and misrepresented. Each time she tried to explain herself, it felt like someone twisted her words. She wanted peace, but the show kept feeding old wounds. She wanted freedom, but every episode tied her to drama she didn't create. Her marriage, the one thing she fought so hard to protect, became the centerpiece of a storyline she never approved. Instead of celebrating their union, viewers debated whether the relationship was built on betrayal. Instead of focusing on their growth, clips magnified their flaws. Instead of welcoming her, the cast kept their guard up. She realized she was fighting too many battles at once against public opinion, cast dynamics, personal grief, and unresolved conflict. Meanwhile, Moses faced his own emotional struggle. The legal trouble alone created fear, stress, and uncertainty. But seeing his wife attacked online, judged by strangers, and cornered on screen made him feel powerless. Every negative comment about her cut deeply. Every moment she cried after filming added to his pain. Their home, once peaceful, became a space filled with quiet tension, the kind where two people love each other but can't escape the pressure weighing down on them. That's when they knew they were done. Not with each other. With the environment that drained them. With the storylines that misrepresented them. With the show that revived old wounds instead of healing them. Walking away wasn't weakness. It was survival. And now, standing outside the chaos, they finally see what the audience didn't. The cost of staying would have been far greater than the cost of leaving. Today, Sunni and Moses are trying to rebuild their peace, not as cast members, not as characters, but as two people who want a life untouched by drama. They know some viewers will always question their story. They know some cast members will never accept their version of events. They know their exit left fans with unanswered questions and unfinished tension. But they also know this. Sometimes choosing yourself looks like quitting to everyone else. Sometimes growth looks like walking away from a room you've outgrown. And sometimes love means protecting the person you care about from a world that refuses to see them clearly. As fans debate their departure and speculate on what really happened behind the scenes, Sunni and Moses are focused on something far more important: building a life where they can breathe without fear of judgment, speak without being twisted, and love without being criticized. Their journey on reality TV may be over, but their story is far from finished. And if Love and Marriage, Huntsville taught viewers anything this season, it's that the biggest plot twists don't always happen on camera. Some unfold quietly, in the moments we never see: the late-night conversations, the silent prayers for peace, the tears wiped away when the cameras stop rolling. Sunni Minx and Moses Monroe didn't just leave the show. They reclaimed their story. They stepped out of the storm. And in doing so, they reminded everyone watching that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away before you lose yourself trying to stay. The chapter of Sunni Minx and Moses Monroe on love and marriage, Huntsville may be closed. But the impact of their exit? That will be remembered for years.